Assalamu alaikum, everyone. You are now tuned to Shakil Co on America's Islamic Radio. I'm your host, Kevin Shakil, and today's exciting interview is sponsored by Muhammad Dar from Westbury Toyota, the Mugs and Beans Company, and a great new sponsor, Tech Bites, a managed service provider out here in Mineola. Today's interview, we have Sister Salma Khan here from the new revolutionary app that's coming out into the market, PaidMeals. Assalamu alaikum, Salma. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are
How's
you?
everything?
Good.
How was your commute coming in today?
It was okay, alhamdulillah.
Not too bad?
Not too bad.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, Selma, can you please describe what Paid Meals is?
It's salam everyone. My name is Salma. I'm the founder of Paid Meals. Paid Meals is a for-profit social conscious startup. It's literally gives you the ability to buy meals for people in need from anywhere in the world.
What do you mean by that?
So let's say I'm walking down the street,
Okay.
right? And then instead of giving someone money, you can literally just go into your app, take their name, and then across the street, if there's a restaurant, you ask them for their name, you pay for that meal. They can just go into the restaurant and grab the meal with their name. That's one way.
So, what's another way?
The other way is, let's say I have the app too and I'm the taker, right?
Okay.
You're the one that's giving the meal, I'm the receiving end of it.
Okay.
You have an profile, I have a profile.
Okay.
Let's say I am hungry today and I don't have the means to go get a meal.
Mm-hmm.
I can literally go into my neighborhood, like the zip code, and find your profile that you're a donor. I can ask for a meal, a specific meal. That's another way.
Wow, I didn't even think about that kind of concept.
You can actually accept to buy it, or you can, deny that, and someone else can pick that up.
So it goes into like a pool.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say I'm in the city.
Okay.
And I want a meal.
Okay.
I'm hungry.
Mm-hmm.
I just go into the app and I can see whoever's offering a meal in that area or whoever's meal is paid for already.
Yeah, the store profile will have all those stats. Exact what meal is available for you to take, and of course the other way it works is I can link you to that meal also. So if you do have a profile, I can link it to you. Or if you don't have a profile, you don't have a phone, you can just say the name and they can pick it up. Or I can randomly just pay for meals throughout the...
That's me to my another question. Let's say you have somebody, hey, what's your name? My name is Bob. You buy a meal for Bob. Bob doesn't go to the restaurant to pick up the meal. What happens to that meal?
Well, that could go into, let's say there's a 3-day window that they don't pick up that meal.
Okay.
They'll go into a pool of randomness, meaning someone else can pick that meal up.
So somebody's always going to have that meal.
Yes.
No matter what. It's not going to go to the waste. The restaurant's not going to make it until the person's there.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So what gave you this idea for this app?
So, the saying, necessity is the mother of all innovation? I disagree with that, only because it's when you're fed up with the process that's not working. Because there's so many nonprofits throughout the world, and historically, we're still doing the same thing, expecting different results. It's not working.
Is that a definition of insanity?
Yeah.
Do the same thing over and over and expecting different results?
Different results, yes. So I was just fed up, and I just needed to find a way to make it where we can bring food, the people who has the money, and people who need the food together in one platform. So Paid Meals.
That's awesome. And when is this app going to launch?
So because it's a technological thing, our tentative date is March 15th.
March 15th.
March 15th, but with technology, because the App Store, and it might be like 5 days.
A lot of kinks and bugs.
Yeah.
So we're expecting around March 15th to March 20th.
Yes.
And how can people find out when this app goes live?
So our website, www.paidmeals.com, will announce it there, and also if you just join our mailing list, we'll just shoot that out to you.
How does somebody sign up for that mailing list?
Oh, so as soon as you go into the www.paidmeals.com, there's a list that you can just subscribe to, and then once we do go live, we'll just send you a reminder.
That's awesome. So let's move a little away from Paid Meals. Who are you? What is Salma Khan?
I am. Hold on.
Remember that?
I am. I was born in Bangladesh.
Okay.
I went back to Bangladesh one time, and I don't want to go back there unless I have something to give back as far on a massive level. So because we have paid meals now, I can go back and actually change people's lives in a way that it's not just a weekly thing or a monthly thing, it's a forever thing, unless, they're okay financially. So
you going back to Bangladesh at once, did it motivate you to want to give back? Like, what was the point in your life where you were like, I want to help people? Because people have jobs every day. They're stuck a paycheck to paycheck. They're doing 9 to 5, and you're just sustaining you, right? What made you want to give back to people?
So my mom and dad, they've always given back to the community. My dad has an orphanage. He has
wow.
My dad has my dad always gets money for like the Eid, like 80 families a year. He buys them clothes.
Okay.
And he pays for people's like the sewing machines in Bangladesh and rickshaw and all of that. He's been doing that since I can remember. So seeing my mom and dad do that forever, and it's just an innate thing for us.
It just became a norm. That basically you always have to give back.
Yeah, because it's just like if you have it, the more you give, the more you get back. I mean, that's just I've always seen it that way because my mom and dad,
So, let's fast forward a little bit.
Uh-huh.
I seen you recently at the World Hijab Day. What was that all about? Where did the idea come from?
Well, literally, my sister Salma Khan, she's the founder of it. There's so much discrimination against in the workplace, in schools, and colleges, right? The only reason people really, make fun of something or they're scared of something, it's because they're not aware of it. So the World Hijab Day is just to educate the masses. So we're in 190 countries right now, and February 1st was set so that everybody can have that one day to educate in preschool, middle school, different corporate world and stuff like that. It's just to educate the world.
So how do you guys educate people with that? I mean, give me like a little detail run through on that.
So far we have 90 ambassadors throughout the world.
Okay.
They set up events and educational pamphlets and stuff like that about explaining to them what the hijab is. And then we do have participants who actually wear the hijab. We have majority of the participants are non-Muslims because because they wanna feel what we feel, just to experience what we go through, and
So being a woman,
it's okay.
born in the Bronx, living in the Bronx, in New York, have you ever faced any kind of discrimination for you wearing a hijab?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Maybe I did, but I don't care. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Elaborate on that a little bit.
So I go through life without any. I never go through life thinking there's a hindrance for something. I go full throttle. I don't care if you have an issue with me, you let me know, and if we can fix it, we fix it. If you're gonna talk sideways by yourself, well, that's your issue. So I don't really care. I'm sure I've been discriminated. I just don't.
You don't feel it. You don't care about it.
I don't care.
You just keep moving forward.
Yeah, I wouldn't come this far in life with the mentality like, oh, my hijab is gonna hold me back. That's not the hijab. Really, for me, it's a comfort thing. Also, I didn't always wear the hijab. So
when did you start wearing it? If you don't mind me asking.
I went back to Bangladesh in 2006 for like a whole month. And when I went to Bangladesh and I saw it's an Islamic country, and they're free to wear the hijab, but they don't wear the hijab. The kids, they choose not to wear the hijab. And it just dawned on me like, hold on, I'm in a Western country, and like I have the choice to wear it. Like,
wear it or not wear it, doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna wear it, and that's how I came to just wearing it forever. It's more comfortable for me.
That's cool. So in a world today where they say, Muslim women don't have rights, you're here, you're wearing your hijab, it's not holding you back. You've created this new app called PaidMeals that's coming out. How does that make you feel? Like, what do you think of it?
Like I said, I don't put any barrier between the person's success and what they can accomplish with how they look or their background or whatnot. It's just either you want it. How bad do you want it? If you want it bad enough, you make it happen. And I really don't care what other people think.
That's a great way to live your life. So, what has been the number one struggle with when you're creating this app, right? Like, what hurdles and obstacles have you come with?
Okay.
Here we go, guys.
I have to tell you the finance part of it. So 2 years ago when I started this,
Mm-hmm.
um, 2 years ago when I started this, I wanted to work with a developer that's like starting up. So then when we make this app, they could be part of it
Mm-hmm.
for just going forth.
You'll have equity into the company.
Yeah,
and
and all of that. It just didn't work out. Then I went to another developer. I mean, the developer was great. They're very experienced because we don't want to mess with anything because it has to do with finance,
Of
right?
course.
Um, that didn't work out. And then I said, you know what? I have to put my money where my mouth is. So I just invested all my whatever money that I had saved up, and I just hired a development company in New York,
Mm-hmm.
and this is where we're at today. It's been a long journey because if you want to do something on a level that it's gonna affect the whole world,
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you have the right developers,
The right team
the
behind
right
you.
team behind it. Yes.
That's pretty interesting because in the world today where you have all of these developers that are outsourced.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to keep it insourced?
Well, I have to tell you another story. So I would have to go, let's say, to India or Bangladesh or
Mhm.
whatever, right, to do this. And then I wanted to do it over the phone also, but the language barrier, I don't speak the language fluently, you know?
Mhm.
So it was just so tough. And there's so many different people in between. I don't want to do that. Like my company right now, it's next to Bryant Park. All I do is just set up a meeting, go there, and just have a conversation with everyone. I don't want to go through, one person. By the time the fifth person explains it to the developer, it's just not what you ask for. And what I ask for is super simple. And they make it complicated. So I just don't want to outsource it. I mean, that's my experience.
So this idea came out when January?
2017, end of 2017.
End of 2017. We're here now today.
Yeah.
What do you think your biggest accomplishment is so far?
So far, with this, we did feed a lot of people.
So
had
wait,
events.
what do you mean? The app is not out yet. How are you feeding people?
Oh, because the pilots, we set up different pilots,
Okay.
different events, just to see if this process would actually work in real life environment.
Mm-hmm.
So we did it manually instead of doing it with
Like
the app.
app-based?
So we doing it manually. So we would give 3 options for people to come in, and every time we had these events, we had 40% of the customers that came in paying forward, and they would choose the higher price ones because in their mind they're saying, okay, so maybe in a month they didn't have such a good meal. I would
Mhm.
give them the better.
Meal possible.
Yeah. Mhm.
And what restaurants have you guys already used, and what restaurants are you expecting to be on the app so far?
A few of them, I can't give certain names because of the contractual
Okay.
agreements right now,
Okay.
and because it's not signed yet because of the launch date. We have to have the launch date.
Okay.
But it's about 107 so far.
In New York?
Yeah.
Or across
No,
the states?
across the country.
Wow.
Across the country.
That's cool.
So our plan is to go to all the major cities 1st.
New York, Chicago, LA.
But just the FYI, the number 1 food insecure state is Mississippi, and then
Wow.
Louisiana.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So
So how did you get that research? How do you know that?
I do my research because I'm in the Hunger Games, right? So I just, the world is about 815 million people that are food insecure, and that's just the stats that's been taken. Imagine the people that don't come forth.
Wow.
You understand? So like we have to take that into consideration that if I see somebody, a homeless person is visible that they might be hungry, that they don't have the financial means, right? But how about the people that behind the doors, the struggling, your neighbor? It could be your cousin or your friends. So those PaidMeals takes care of everything.
So let's say you have somebody, right, who's embarrassed, who doesn't want to come forward and say, hey, I'm struggling right now, right? Is there a segment in the app where they don't have to reveal the profile and they can ask for a meal?
Okay, so the way the algorithm works is if you keep it private, there's no way for you to search it because that's just,
Okay.
there's no way for you to ask someone else for that
Okay.
meal. This PaidMeals there's nothing to be embarrassed about because everything is dignified in a way that if I am a vegetarian, I won't be forced to eat meat, right?
Of course.
That's crazy. But if you're hungry, then you have no other option, right? But with paid meals, that takes care of that. Like you get to choose whatever meals you want. And the other thing, we're gonna have grocery stores also involved.
Oh, what about
Yeah.
that? How's that gonna work?
So like milk, I'll give
Mhm.
an example of just milk, right? If you go into like my neighborhood in the Bronx,
Mm-hmm.
the milk, the nasty milk, meaning the one that's GMO fine,
Uh-huh.
those are like I don't know, maybe $3 a gallon.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones that I drink, my family drink, it's about they put it into about $10 a gallon.
Wow.
$10 a gallon. But if your family is a middle class person, there's a way for you to once a month you can give another family, something that's not non-GMOfied. I call
got
it that.
it.
So
So it's a healthier organic option.
organic options and more vegetables and eggs or whatever. It doesn't always have to be.
An actual restaurant meal. It could be groceries as well.
Yeah.
That's a great idea and a great way to look at it.
Thank you.
You guys have been to Shakil Co on America, so I'm creative. We're here with Sister Salma Khan. She's talking about paid meals. She talked about her life. She talked about her hijab. Now we're gonna, go into a little more details about this paid meals, right? What I want to know is, how did you guys come up with the logo that you guys have?
I
right
love.
here? Like, how is this?
I love pomegranates.
That's a pomegranate.
Yeah.
I thought it was a golf ball.
No, it's a pomegranate.
So
My
what?
dad loves pomegranate. I love pomegranate. Hence the pomegranate. Yeah.
So another question I have for you,
It's
right?
healthy, honey.
It's gonna be sorry, I'm like losing my train of thought because I'm like thinking about like so many other things. If you're a restaurant owner, right, and you want to get onto paid meals and be a part of that service, right? How can they go about that, reaching out to you guys and doing this?
Okay, so let me just backtrack just a little bit before I answer that question to you. So there's about 1 million restaurants that are like within
Mm-hmm.
they have their own websites and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Million through it.
Of course.
So what we're doing is we're allowing everybody to create a profile. It's a whole store that's gonna be within the app. They're putting their menus, their pricings, and everything, right?
Okay.
And we're gonna have a verified accounts, the ones that we actually verify, so that's trusted, that they're not phonies,
Mhm.
right? So what they can do, they can literally just make the profile
Mhm.
in the paid meals, and then we will go ahead and I'm sorry, I keep.
It's okay. It's fine.
We will go ahead and verify them, so they'll have
Okay.
a pink check mark
Okay.
instead of a blue check mark. You guys are familiar with the blue, but the pink check mark would notify you guys that this is trusted.
It's a trusted restaurant. But
Yeah.
how can I create a profile? Do I have to wait for the app to come out then to do a profile, or I can do it now?
Oh no, that's okay. This post. Okay, right now we need restaurants to just reach out to us.
So how can they reach out to you guys?
Oh,
That's what I'm asking.
oh, sorry. Okay, so right now just the email. The email would be paidmeals@gmail.com.
Please spell it out for them.
paidmeals@gmail.com. The reason we were using the gmail.com for right now is because sometimes we have server issues
Mm-hmm.
with the paidmeals.com, so we want to make sure that we always have that email.
Okay.
So and also our you can always DM us also paidmeals@paidmeals.
Okay.
And on Facebook also. So we're everywhere.
So
Paid meals.
that's a great way. And do you guys have a phone number or no? For those who are old school, who just want to.
Sure, it's 914-920-1280.
One more time.
914-920-1280.
So if you guys want to reach out to Paid Meals and be part of their list, and if you're a restaurant owner who wants to be part of the list, do you have the number one more time?
914-920-1280.
And they can reach out to you with email. What's the email again?
paidmeals@gmail.com. And DM at Paid Meals. And Facebook fan page also.
And if you guys have any issues reaching out to them, you can always reach out to us, and we'll redirect you guys to them. So Summer, it's been wonderful having you here at American Islamic Radio. Thank you so much. We will probably be live the day. We will be on site the day you go live with your app. We will
Yes.
be there covering it
Inshallah.
to celebrate your new app. And thank you guys for listening and tuning in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.